Welcome to another episode of the Blue Crew, a New York Rangers podcast on the Believe Podcast Network. I'm your host, Jonny Lazarus, joined by my great friend, Cody Frankel, and my fucking enemy for the next 45 minutes, Avery Zaretsky. We got a great show for you today because the three of us have a lot of different opinions about what the Rangers should do on Friday when the trade deadline hits at 3 p.m. We've been arguing about it now for a little over a week in our group text, and we haven't gotten the chance to talk about it on the mics. So we're happy to finally be recording live. And Cody, how you doing? I want to start with you. How's everything going? You good?
I'm pretty good, dude.
Days.
What'd you say?
Griffin's looking really cute these days.
Dude, he's a dream. He's the best.
He'll
never get to know his cousin Avery, that dumb fuck. But
I mean, listen, it's great. It's great when we like talk shit and then you just post a picture of Griffin. It kind of lightens the mood a little bit.
And we'll talk shit. I'll post a picture of Griffin. Avery will like respond and be like, "Oh my god, so cute."
right after like a little dumbass. Like
we turn into little bitches once Griffin comes in the mix.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But Avery, how you doing? I know you hit Carbone last night. You didn't really watch the third period. You're a Tony fan.
No, I watched the whole game. I was on my phone. But yeah, I went to Carbone last night. I try to go at least a couple times a year down. It is by far the best restaurant.
You got the penne vodka, obviously.
I've never been.
Spicy rigatoni.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
It's not even just, and I really want to get into the Rangers, but it's not even just the food; it's the service too. Like they refer to their waiters and waitresses as captains, and they just know how to take care of you to a T. There's a guy walking around with a wheel of cheese, dropping cheese on your plate. You're constantly getting refilled with water. You never have to feel like you need to look for your waiter and be like, can you help me with this? Because they're always right where they need to be. So it is by far my favorite restaurant.
I'm going to have to check it out. It's impossible to get a reservation.
I've only went once, and I went in the Hamptons. They had a pop-up.
They have? Oh, yeah.
Johnny, when you guys come down, I'll take you guys. I got a nice little plug there.
I'm going to try to come in April, so I will hold you to that for sure.
Done.
Nothing's set in stone yet, but hopefully in April. But before we get into some Ranger stuff, because we want to get right into it, I do just want to read this quick ad from Cut. We've got a great new sponsor with them. I love betting against my friends and betting them on anything, whether it's sports games, who's fast. That's what Cut allows me to do. The Cut app is a peer-to-peer social betting platform that's legal in 40 plus states. Cut has customizable odds, tracking capabilities, and an entire social network with group chats, user profiles, and rewards. All payments, no need for Venmo. So what should we bet on? Maybe Avery being wrong about the trade deadline. I don't know. Use our promo code BelieveRangers. That's capital B, capital L, capital E, capital A, capital V, capital R in Rangers. One word, Believe Rangers, for a 10% welcome deposit bonus. Don't forget that promo code BelieveRangers for a cut. Put your money where your mouth is. Now let's get into some Rangers talk. Avery, do you want to start? Because I feel like this whole thing kind of starts with you or Cody. I don't know.
I have a good segue. Yeah. Speaking of Carbone, Avery owes me a drink because, to no one's surprise, Kaapo Kakko did not score a goal.
I mean, it was just like a little friendly wager. I'd like to buy it for you in person though. Like I genuinely, when I saw you at the Stadium Series, it was genuine happiness, and ever since then, it's just been all downhill with this fucking trade talk.
Dude, I've woken up to text now, I think like 8 days straight in the group chat, and I wake up later than all of you, even though I wake up at like 7:30.
We've been going early. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, we've been going at it early.
Yeah, early on in the day. Like the first text I see every day is from
it's Avery. Every single day, it's Avery's text, and it's like, this is the metrics of Kaapo Kakko this week.
But Avery,
true. seriously, get into it.
That's not true. I think that around this time, it's all there's always so much tension, and everybody's wondering what's going on. And before I get into the whole Kaapo Kakko thing,
this is more than ever.
Yeah.
In my opinion, last year, I feel like last year was just like Kane versus no Kane.
But I also feel like it's recency bias. Like we've been through this year after year after year. We've put our chips.
Well, Johnny hasn't, dude. He's a Devils fan.
I forgot. He likes hockey more than the Rangers. That makes sense. Good job, Cody. Good point out. That was a good one. Point for you. But I really want to preface this with saying that everybody has a price. And I think that no matter who, I don't really like to say the word untouchable. You obviously look at your top guys as guys you don't want to get rid of. But if a guy calls and you don't know what happens, you're not, nobody could be a fly on the wall in these conversations. But every single player in the league has a price. And if somebody calls and is willing to pay for a guy and you feel like it's the right fit to send him to a different place to get assets, you 100% have to do it. Now, when it comes to the case of Kaapo Kakko, I think there's a few players that I would trade him for that were being talked about right now, like a Gensel, like a Buchnevich, and who's the third guy?
Frank Vetrano.
No. I'll get into that.
Alex Tuck. That's probably off the
Alex
table.
Tuck. Yes, Alex Tuck is
But
another
no Casey
one
Middlestat,
who has been rumored. Yeah,
Crazy.
but there was no rumors for Middlestat. So, but I do want to get
into the
it.
Rangers.
I do want to get into it. This all sparked with the Frank Vetrano, Adam Henrique rumors that Verbeek was at the Garden scouting the Rangers. Kakko was obviously on the first line, and it sparked a debate: would it be worth sending Kakko for Vetrano? And listen, I love Frank. I thought he was a very effective player in New York, and I think that he's overachieving this year. But we got a really good player for a 4th round pick when he came to New York, and he's definitely worth more now. He's having the best career. The best season of his career. Now, if you go and look at the Rangers' problems right now, and it's been an ongoing problem for the past maybe 3 to 5 years.
Since they traded Buchnevich away.
Yes. And the fact that this team is not good 5-on-5. They have never been a good 5-on-5 team in the past, like I said, 3 to 5 years. Now, you want to look at 5v5 stats between Frank Vetrano and Kaapo Kakko. Kakko, at 23 years old, since Vetrano left the Rangers, 123 games played, 25 goals, 23 assists, 48 points. Vetrano, 20 more games played, 33 goals, 27 assists, 60 points. So 12 more points, 6 years older, even at 5v5. So I'm just saying, like, if you think that you should trade a guy who's completely younger, who's extremely effective in the D zone, helps this team 5v5 more than you think, considering that when you look at the numbers, right? When Kakko plays for this team, the team is 29-8-3 versus when he does not play with this team, 11-10-1. I mean, those stats.
You really believe that's all because of him?
Well, when you look at the numbers, I see
those are staggering numbers, Johnny. And when you look at a team who's really bad at 5v5 hockey, it might be, Johnny. It really
what do you
might
make
be.
of the what do you make of the Alexis Lafreniere 15-0-1 record when he scores a goal? You think just because he scores, the Rangers are going to win that night, or is it just a coincidence?
No, but I think that they both have positive impacts in different ways.
All right, let me ask you this. Gun to your head, hypothetical gun to your head.
Okay.
Kakko gets that scoring chance last night. Who would you rather have the puck on their stick? Kakko in that position or Frank Vetrano in that position? Who do you trust more to score the goal?
I mean,
can't even say it with a straight face.
If you say Kakko, you're just, come on.
Yeah, I mean, all right. So, all right, let's.
Bro, they need a fucking finisher.
Can I just say something? You're talking about staggering numbers. The numbers I see are 7-4, 11 points in 41 games. And yes, you can be effective without being a point scorer, no problem. But yes, I think it's very abundant that this team needs a scorer. If you're putting a guy on the first line, you're not putting him there to just be effective without producing points. Like it has to translate. And listen, I get Kakko's a young kid. Totally. He's a young dude. Like, we've said many times, I think on this show as well, most players break out around age, 24 to 26. So I get it, but I haven't seen anything from him showing me or indicating to me that he's going to break out. Did Frank Vetrano break out 5 years later? Sure. But but we're in a championship window right now. We have maybe 3 years, and we don't have time to potentially wait for Kakko to break out.
I want to say something here quick, Avery. I just want to jump. I'm going to side. I'm actually going to side with you here, Avery, because it's not true that we never seen anything from Kakko. In the preseason, we were all on board that Kakko was a 60-point guy this year. He looked incredible in the preseason, and then for whatever reason, the start of the year did not go his way. I think he had like 3 points in 19 games.
20.
But when you listen back to our episodes, and you watch Kakko in the preseason, we were hyping up Kakko and not talking about Lafreniere at all. Like it was Kakko's year to break out, and the points haven't been there. But to Avery's point as well, he's been way more effective on the third line than he has been on the first line, because Kaapo Kakko is a guy that needs to be a player. He needs to be a driver on the line he's on. And when he plays with anyone else, he defers them. It happened with Panarin last year, and it's happened with Zibanejad and Kreider this year and a little bit of last year as well. But here's what, and I will let you speak, Avery, I promise. But here's what I'm going to say is that I feel like a lot of the argument right now is, do you believe in this core to win a Stanley Cup, or is it just, here's what we got and we got to make it work? If you don't actually believe in the core, then keep Kakko. But if you're willing to go for it with what we've got, that's why I think you have to get rid of him, because Artemi Panarin's contract ends in 2 years from now. He has 2 more full seasons after this. And I think that's when this window shuts, and that's when this team is going to look completely different. So until that happens, you have to do what you can to win a Stanley Cup. You have to.
But and going back to that scenario where you brought up, I just think it's an unfair scenario, because I think that the Rangers still need to address the first right wing. I'm not saying Kakko's that guy. He's not.
Yeah.
I don't think at the end of this trade deadline he's going to be in that position. But having him in the lineup in the third line slot has been perfect for this team. They need to be good 5v5 defensively, and I think he's been more than what we could ask for in that scenario. Now, is he not the goal scorer? Is he not the playmaker that we're looking for right now? No. But can he be? Absolutely. And I understand you talking about, oh, you want to wait, you want to wait. You don't want to wait, you don't want to wait. But the fact of the matter is that you can go out and get a top line winger without forging Kaapo Kakko. You do not need to get rid of him. Now, if Pittsburgh calls and says the contingency on sending Jake Gensel as Kaapo Kakko, I think anybody in their right mind would drive him to the airport. But you want to think about a guy like Frank Vetrano. That's just not the answer. The Rangers could look other places. You just saw Anthony Mantha, who clearly could fit on a first line on any team, go for a second round and a fourth round pick. And then you go to the stats of Kaapo versus Vetrano again, right?
No term.
And shout out to, pretty much every single guy is going to get no term. You're going to get
Vetrano
one more
has
year.
term.
You're going to get one more year of Vetrano, who's overperforming again. And
but you don't know that, though. You don't know that.
You do know that. You do. I mean, basically, okay. Here's a good, and shout out to my guy Rangers Muse. He's one of the best.
He's great.
Guys.
He's great.
And he agrees with me, and he gave me some great stats, and I'm going to read them out, and then Cody, I'll let you talk. Frank Vetrano did not have his first 40-point season until age 29. He also did not have his first 15-plus goal season until age 25. He never had a 20-plus assist season, and he also never had a 35-plus even strength points in a season. Kaapo Kakko did that all last year. So to just think that he can't do that maybe in the playoffs, like, he just has to be put in the right position. You can't just give up on a guy because, and we talked about this with Don LaGreca. How many times can you forge?
But what's the right position?
What?
What's the right position? What's the right position to put him in?
How many times can you forge your future? It's so hard to win. It is extremely hard. It's harder than ever to win the Stanley Cup in the NHL. You can't keep forging your future for a chance to win. Now, I think you need to put yourself in the best position, but it doesn't mean trading an NHL player. You can do it without that.
Yeah, but dude, there's zero indication that Kakko is going to be part of this future. I mean, like, what aside from last year sure,
there's complete indication. Chris Drury's completely expressed that he's not getting rid of him unless there's a significant offer.
He signed for one more year. There's no indication this guy.
He's an RFA at the end of this year.
What?
He's an RFA at the end of this year.
Yeah, but he's. I mean, he'll get.
But it was the same exact way with Lafreniere.
What do you mean?
They didn't give him a mega deal. There was no This was like
he's proved himself this year.
They both got bridge
deals. This year he did, but before he got his contract, he wasn't proven. There was still a lot of talk.
The narrative going into the season was that it's time for Alexis Lafreniere and Kaapo Kakko to sink or swim.
Yeah,
one has swam.
And you think Kaapo Kakko's sinking at 23 years old?
I don't think he's sinking at 23 years old, but if you ask me if I can get a 30-goal scorer now versus a 30-goal scorer in maybe 3 or 4 years, I'd rather take the goal scorer now, because I think this window is shutting more than it's opening. And you look at Chris Kreider and Artemi Panarin, both 32 years old. You look at Trocheck and Zibanejad, both 30 years old. Foxy's 26, Igor's 28. Like, in 3 years from now, this team is completely different. Gabe Perreault is probably going to be the first line center. At least we'd hope he would. And Mika and Trocheck will still be here.
Mika's going to be the 3C.
This team is not going to be the same in 3 years from now. And that's why I'm saying this patience thing with Kakko is like, what are we talking about? Because I think if you look at the future, it's maybe Keandre, maybe Foxy, maybe Othman, maybe Perreault and Lafreniere and whatnot. But this team is going to look completely different 3 years from now.
But there's no reason to expense one of our good players who's really helping depth-wise for a 5v5 team that is terrible to help out Mika Zibanejad.
You know what else is terrible?
We're paying at $8.5 million.
You know what else is terrible, Avery? The fucking power play is 23rd since Kakko came back from injury. Not that he had anything to do with that. You know, he doesn't really play a lot of power play.
He doesn't play on the power play.
No, I know. I'm not blaming that. It has nothing to do with Kakko, but everyone also saying that, like, whoa, Frank Petrano is only going to come and play 5-on-5. He's not going to get any power play time. Maybe he mixes it up on the power play. Maybe they put him on the power play knowing how good he is on the power play. The Rangers power play since January 14th is at a 17%. Where at the start of the year, they were at like a high 20s, low 30s percentage. And if their power play isn't clicking and they're not playing 5-on-5, where the fuck are they going in the playoffs? Where?
Yeah, I understand, but the power play is just the power play is always going to be what it is. Like it's either going to get hot or it's not. But the glaring subject is that Mika Zibanejad has 5v5 goals. You're going to bring in a guy and trade a guy who only has 4 less 5v5 goals. Like why?
But dude, he's on the fucking Ducks, bro. He's on the Ducks. Imagine what he's going to do. Imagine what he's going to do when he has Kreider and Mika passing him.
He should have more. He should have more than that. He's on the Ducks.
All right. Also, here's just like my last statement, because I think we should get into some fan questions while all of us are here, because there's going to be a lot about it. Yeah. But my last statement on the subject is I'm not going to say Frank Vetrano is going to be the one guy to save this team and win a Stanley Cup. I still think the Rangers need like 3 pieces. Like I think I want Wenberg. But I think to have a guy that is a known finisher and a guy that is a shoot first guy and a guy who plays on the inside as opposed to Kakko, who is mostly a perimeter player, I think I'm willing to live with what Vetrano brings, And I think his shoot first mentality, his shot in general, which is one of the best in the NHL, I think is more valuable than what Kakko adds right now. Kakko doesn't kill penalties. He doesn't get power play time. Yes, he's good at possessing the puck at 5-on-5, but everyone is like foaming at the mouth over this reverse hit he had against Florida. He turned the fucking puck over right after he made the play. Like no one's talking about that. Yeah, he made a great reverse hit, but he lost the puck. Like it's just, and I don't want to disrespect Kaapo Kakko. He's a great kid. He's a good player. He's effective on the third line, but I think I don't know if he elevates this team.
He doesn't do it for me. He doesn't do it for me. And I think throwing, Avery, I think you're throwing around the term a little too loosely, like forging our future. I don't. Kakko
we would be.
No, but listen.
All right. So let's just say you trade Kaapo Kakko for Frank Vetrano, then you just create another glaring hole in the third line, which we've struggled with year after year after year, is finding a good bottom 6. And we've also struggled with the fact that our top line doesn't produce in the playoffs as much as they should. It all stems from even strength hockey. And why would we remove ourselves from another great even strength hockey player to get a guy who's just having what?
Because the lack of production makes him replaceable.
He could be great, but if he's not producing,
it's not about the points though. Think about all the unsung heroes on the Vegas team on their bottom 6.
It's a little about the points.
Is it?
I mean, William Karlsson was a third liner. You think Kakko?
He had like 75 points the year Vegas won.
Dude, guys can be more effective just because they're not getting points. You have to understand that it's a lot more than just looking at the sheet and seeing what they did during the game. There's plays that Kaapo Kakko is making that are significant.
No, I was saying, look at Alex Wenberg, dude. He's not a point merchant. He's not a monster point producer, but he's one of the most effective two-way forwards in the game, and he locks down other players' top offensive players. Like, he's a guy who can come in, and yes, this is my pitch for you, Alex. But listen, he's a guy who can come in on the third line. He's not going to produce points every night, but he's a guy who can lock down top players on the other team.
Bro, you're talking about a guy who has the same amount of even strength goals as Kakko. Just saying.
Dude. Okay.
I mean, he does. That wasn't really the best argument, Cody.
Okay.
But I just think like
he does everything well. Kakko does
replaceable. I think it's replaceable.
I also think this argument's dumb because Chris Drury would never do this. He would never do this.
Do what?
Trade Kaapo Kakko for Frank Vetrano.
I don't think it'd be a 1-for-1. I don't really want Adam Henrique. Like everyone's talking about Adam Henrique. Adam Henrique had one good playoff run 12 years ago.
Does not do it for me.
I also love it. I love Wenberg. We've been linked to him, and I think it's going to happen. I think he's like the.
Can I just jump in here and remove myself from this, because I never said it has to be Kakko for Vetrano ever. All I was saying is I'm not going to mortgage our potential window to win a championship for Kaapo Kakko. So if there is a player who can come in here and kick ass for this team, who fits the mold very well, I would do that trade in before I can count to 3. That's all I'm saying.
I know. I said everybody has a price. I think where this argument started was that you said he was completely on the table for a Frank Vetrano trade.
No,
that's
Johnny
where
said that. Not Cody.
I agree. I think he is completely on the table for a Frank Petrano trade.
yes.
I don't think he's on the table for a rental.
That's where we don't see eye to eye, and I know that most people probably feel the same.
I don't think he's on the table for a rental, but I think Kakko on the third line is replaceable. I do. And I think if you bring in another third line center, you move Brodzinski maybe over to the right wing or have Jimmy Vesey play third line right wing. I think that's a fine third line. I don't
Okay,
think
let's talk fucking trades. Let's go.
Well, should we just go into the fan questions?
Yeah, but first I have a question for you guys before we go into fan
trades?
questions.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad. First of all, I'm glad we all got that out because I do enjoy having a good
And
time.
listen, I think it's a two-sided argument. I think everyone has their own opinion on it, and I don't think anyone's wrong for thinking it.
And you want to know who's right?
Who?
It's going to be up to Kaapo Kakko if he proves us wrong or right, and that's it.
Well, the only thing about the argument that I don't agree with is the people who think like there's a future to build toward. They're not building a dynasty. Like
who, the Rangers?
Do not agree that in 3 years from now, like this team is.
Are you talking about the Rangers?
Yeah.
Like, dude, no. They're going all in, and then in 3 years it's going to be like a retool, and we're going to have to restart a little bit. Like they're going for their one shot to win one cup. It's not going to be like a Tampa situation. Like they probably have 3 years. I think the people saying 2 years is a little much. I think they probably have 3 years, and after that, right? Like once Panarin's contract's up, if you can't re-up him, and players are going to start to leave, things are going to start to change. Mika's going to be like 34. Kreider,
it solely rides on the back of the guys who are making the most money. They need to perform. Like we can't talk about mortgaging guys who are on team-friendly deals who are effective to help out the guys we're paying the most money. I think that's where we see the biggest issue.
But those guys that are making the most money, they're not movable. So you're stuck with them. What are you going to do? You have to adjust somehow.
Yeah, but you don't have to give up NHL ready guys. You can move picks. You don't have to give up a guy like Kakko, who last season had the same amount of points as 22-year-old Pavel Buchnevich did. Like
I'm not saying he has to go. I'm just saying I'm willing to let him go. This isn't like a trade Kakko argument.
I said everybody has a price. I feel the same way, but it's like
here's the thing: everybody has a price, but your price is different from ours. So
in a dream world, they have Kakko, Vetrano, and Winberg, and I'd be so fucking thrilled with that.
Yeah, I agree, and I also think it's very possible that happens.
Well, maybe. You better apologize then to Alex because you just shit talked him.
Alex Winberg?
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I love him. I think he'd be a great.
All right, good. You better love him. But all right, so I have
I don't want to say he's gonna be a Ranger, but it feels like it's gonna happen.
It feels like it.
It's sure. Yeah.
All right, Cody's been horny for this question for 3 days.
Yeah.
So
please. I just want to talk about this real quick, right? So, like, obviously trades are coming in the next 3-4 days, and guys in the top 9 are going to shift down, possibly to the fourth line. Some of those third, like Brodsky might move to the fourth line. What do you do in terms of Rempe? Like, Rempe's literally been a change of pace player who's like provided a jolt to this team, and we might not win every game, right? Like, we lost against the Panthers, we lost against the Leafs, but like this guy's making his presence known, and I feel like he's the type of guy who gives you an edge in a playoff series, and I really don't want them to. I want them to let this kid give him a shot in the playoffs. Like, I personally would move off like Edstrom, Gaudreau, or VC before I'm moving off Rempe.
VC
is my dude. In terms of effectiveness in like getting the team going,
yeah, but VC kills penalties. He does so many other things. Like,
I'm just saying
you're undervaluing Jimmy VC.
Dude, VZ has been a fantastic contract for Merce. I'm not undervaluing him. I'm just saying, to me, Rempe seems like the guy who literally can change a playoff series or a game, a big game, that and gives you that jolt. So I'm just saying, I really hope they're considering keeping him up.
I agree. I said it last night. I said watching the Panther game, Avery was like, "You're wrong," whatever. But I said, if you're playing Florida, I'd rather Rempe in there than Kakko. But it's the matchup. It's the matchup against Florida. You need to have the fucking physical presence. And honestly, I was just tweeting back and forth with Thomas Hickey, former New York Islander defenseman. Rempe's a good player for his size. And when you're a defenseman in the NHL going back to retrieve a puck and he's going to hit you, you think 2 or 3 times before you make a play. You saw Brandon Montour, you saw Aaron Ekblad, kind of checking themselves before they made a play with Rempe on their back. I still think
you're going to health bomb a Kakko over a Brodzinski or a VZ.
I just meant between the two players. I wouldn't pick Kakko over anyone else. I'm just saying
Johnny fucking hates Kakko, dude.
I'm saying between those two, I don't think Kakko plays physically at all. I know he had that reverse hit. He doesn't go out and throw the body, really. I think Rempe is more effective.
Hates Kakko, bro.
Rempe is more effective to me in a physical series like that. Any other team in the Eastern Conference, I wouldn't say the same thing about. But with Florida, I think you have to try to
they're so fast, dude.
They're so I like Rempe a lot. I compared it. Someone asked me how I felt about the whole situation. I kind of compared it to you remember those hoverboards that were super popular? You know what I'm talking about? The ones where you could ride around the house, and they were really fun for a lot of fun at first. But then they, now they just kind of sit around the house and you don't really ride.
That's
them
how you compared it.
Yeah, I just
that was a bad one, Avery.
No, he's like he was he's fun at first, but I don't know.
He's been fun the whole time. He's been up.
Yeah.
He's been fun every single game. He's literally been fun every single game. And
I don't know. I don't think
you're saying his fun's gonna wear off. I get what you're trying to say.
Yeah, I don't think he gets us through to the finals.
What if he does? What if he does? All right, let's go into fan questions. I know I know Avery has to jump at 20. So
I hope so.
A lot of them are honestly what we already talked about, but I'll say the first one is from Anthony Maglino. He said, "What's up, boys? No questions. Just appreciate you guys." So that's a nice little shout out. We appreciate
that. That was nice.
All right. Obviously, this one's going to be pretty common, but can a trade save the Kreider Zibanejad deadline?
Yeah, it can.
I don't know.
But it also comes from within. Mika needs to get his head out of his ass. He's been playing fucking terrible, and he's been underperforming all season, and I know his stats can be a little skewed, but dude, if you look at the last 10 games, I mean, I feel like his play is just he's just not trying. Since when is Mika a tipping? Since when is he a tipping guy? Okay, he's the guy on the point who slaps the shit out of the puck and hits one timers. Since when is he this tipping guy that's trying to get Come on, I don't know. He's pissing me off.
I love Mika. I always have, but it's becoming hard to defend at this point.
I mean, me too, dude. I have a $300 jersey. That's doing well for me. It's collecting dust on it this year.
I mean, and going back to the Kaapo Kakko argument, he has the same amount of
Avery has all this shit written down.
he has the same amount of 5v5 goals as Kaapo Kakko in over 300 extra minutes of time on ice.
Yeah.
Well, nobody's arguing that Mika literally sucks this year. I don't think anybody he's.
No, I'm just saying. I think everybody feels the same way. I'm just saying something needs to happen. But it's crazy that we need to go get someone to do that. He should just be able to do it.
I mean, he's also a guy you need to get right for the playoffs. If Mika's not right for the playoffs, you're gonna have. And when every other good team, you're playing the Panthers, you're playing the Leafs, you're playing the Bruins, when they have all their top guys performing and you have one slacking, that's what makes or breaks a playoff series. So,
this might be a better question to ask post deadline, but I kind of want to ask it right now while it's in my mind. I had a conversation about this the other day, and I can't really say with who, but what do you think happens if the Rangers lose in the first round this year?
I think they'll seriously.
I honestly don't even know.
Do you guys honestly believe this core can get it done? I do. I really do.
I do as well. I think they need two pieces. And I've said this, I've preached this all year. I think they're two pieces away. I think they can get both of those pieces at the deadline, but it has to be the right fits. I think Wenberg is a perfect fit for what this team needs. Another guy, Casey Middlestat, I mean, he'll cost a lot more. I don't know if Pagulas would ever trade him to us, but there's certain players that I think fit the mold of this team that will really help bring them over the edge. And I think, hitting on one of these couple trades you're going to make is like fine, but I don't know if that gets the job done. I really think they need to hit on both their right winger and their center. Like, I think both of them need to be perfect fits for the Rangers. And then I think, yes, they can get the job done.
Also, what did you guys? I don't know if you guys saw my tweet today about someone was like comparing Kakko to Kreider at 5-on-5, and I said
Avery?
What Kreider? No, it wasn't Avery. But what Kreider does in the power play to me outweighs any lack of production at 5-on-5. I mean, Chris Kreider has become one of the biggest power play threats in the entire NHL. You look back to the last 3 years, he's got 46 power play goals since 21-22, just third most in the NHL, only behind Sam Reinhart and Leon Draisaitl. And I think he's the guy, like, you can rely on come playoff time to score goals, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if, like, anyone that bashes Kreider at 5-on-5, while it might be warranted, what he's done in the power play, I think, has earned him a little more respect. Not to take it easy at 5-on-5, but to, maybe just accept that he might not be the best 5-on-5 player.
I think that's
Am I
fair.
wrong for thinking that? Yeah.
No, I think that's fair. I mean, as he gets older, he's not going to be as fast as he was. And yeah, it goes back to the whole argument that we started. It's just like the glaring issue on this team is 5v5 hockey. Like, it just needs to get better. It hasn't.
It's also the power play lately too.
It hasn't been good at all. And
again,
it's weird. It's weird because when this team plays good 5v5 hockey, we lose. And when we don't, when we get dominated in a lot of games, we rely heavily on our goaltending. And it's been that way for the longest time. And when we win, we might get outplayed, but it's because we have the better goaltender. And we just need to get better at even strength hockey. Like, we're just not going to be the team that we want to see in June if we aren't good at 5v5.
I mean, is there somebody that comes to your mind that we can trade for that gets us there?
Yeah, his name is Jake Gensel, but I don't see a world where Pittsburgh is willing to give
never.
him.
Pittsburgh does not trade with the New York Rangers. I think the last trade they made was like a baby trade in like 2009, and before that, I'm pretty sure the last trade we've made with Pittsburgh was literally 25 years ago in like 2001.
I think there was one more recent than that.
No, I'm telling you, man, 2009 was the last one, and it was
2009.
Never heard anyone say 2009 like that.
Oh, shut the fuck up. And yeah, I mean, they just do not deal to us. That's it.
Where can I find, like, I'm trying to find the Rangers shots against over the last few games. Like, that's another thing too. Everyone talks about the defensive, whatever. This guy's good defensively, 5-on-5. The Rangers won 10 straight games. They allowed 40 plus shots in 5 straight games. Like, that is not a recipe to win in the playoffs. And I don't care who has good defensive metrics or whatever. One player doesn't prevent you from not getting 40 shots on goal. You know what I mean? Like, there still are a lot of holes in this team despite the success they've had. And while Igor has played a lot better as of late, like, that's going to be a challenge come playoff time too. Like,
they've got to fix some shit. They've got to fix some shit.
They've got a lot to work on. They do.
Like, and the crazy thing is, sorry, Avery, the crazy thing is, right? Like, they just came off 2 like Titan-like games that they went to war, both games against the Leafs and Panthers, and they lost both games. But, they could have won either one of those games. Like, that third goal that the Panthers scored on us was an absolute softie, pretty much from the point by Bromberg. And, it's like, what are you looking at, Johnny?
Were you saying Bromberg as a joke?
As Lomberg.
Were you saying that as a joke?
That's his nickname, bro.
No, it's not.
I'm pretty sure it is.
No.
I've never heard that in my life, but continue.
Okay. Anyways, I thought that was his nickname. I thought that was the thing.
I don't think it is.
All right.
Okay. Anyways, so when he scored from the point, okay, that was a softie. And I feel like that could have went either way. And, you see how they're playing against these good teams, and they're playing pretty well, and they still have a lot of problems to fix right now. So I feel like if they fix them, they're going to be in a really good spot. They just need to figure this shit out.
Oh, what a hot take by Cody. If they figure out their problems, they'll be in a good spot.
Johnny, I'm going to fucking come over to Brooklyn, dude. And
that was just a waste of fucking 2 minutes of talking.
Oh my God.
No shit.
Shit
if they figure out their problems.
Dude, how does, like, Mantha, man, he's so good. That was it. I still can't get over that. They retained 50%, and all they did was trade a second and a fourth. For a guy who
Let's
Johnny.
do
a
another
guy
2
who's
questions where Avery has to go.
really good,
Johnny.
man. Yeah.
What?
go.
Fuck you. All right. Yep. Let's go.
This one's a fun one, different one. Benjamin Epple, top 3 places for a slice in New York City.
Oh, that's easy. It's John's Obliquer, Prince Street, and the third one's tough.
Slices or pies? Slices or pies?
Slice.
John's
I don't know if this
Obliquer.
counts.
So John's
That's
Obliquer
soft,
is
dude.
just
If
the
you buy
regular.
slices, you're soft.
John's Obliquer, just like the regular, not like the John's on Bleecker Street. It's John's of Bleecker Street.
Mhm.
You know the difference. Oh,
Mhm.
and then Prince Street, the
Prince Street's
pepperoni.
the best. Yeah.
Yep, and then Lucali, which is really hard to get into, but it's.
I think
incredible.
Lucali is overrated. I had it. a
Oh,
couple
come
weeks ago. I
on.
didn't love it. I
Did
like
you
Linda
go
Street.
there?
I went there. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
I had this place recently. Something G's, Pauly G's, pretty good. I live in
Patsy's
Brooklyn.
is
Though, so
banging.
I go to the Brooklyn spots. So like Linda Street is my favorite. I think it's the best. Finney and like Prince Street are my 3.
Yeah.
Cody.
Have you been to
I mean,
John's?
John's is
Yeah, I've been
amazing.
to John's,
obviously.
but I like those 3 places
So
better.
good.
John's is amazing. Patsy's is really good. I've
Oh,
actually
yeah.
never had Prince
Great.
Street.
Prince Street's so
Ooh,
good, dude.
so
It's so
good.
good.
Yeah.
Gotta
my
get
favorite-
the
My
spicy
favorite place to get a
Diablo.
pie is Emmy Squared. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Next
That's a good
question, Mike
question.
_D92. What's up?
That's a good
Good
question.
Yeah, good question. We like the different ones.
I love food.
Mike
so-
_D92. If the Rangers finish first in the Metro, who could be their biggest first round threat? Right now, it looks like it's Tampa. Or
Tampa,
Detroit.
easy.
But if the Islanders find a way to sneak in and they
0%
play, no, I'm not saying it's a threat, but if they play each other in the first round, that'd be fucking sick. I would love that.
I would love
Yeah.
playing Tampa way more because I want a revenge tour. I want to give other teams the pain that they've given me. So I want Tampa to sneak in. I want the Devils to figure their shit out and sneak in. I just want all the smoke.
Yo,
Avery.
you gotta beat the best to win. So
Avery, I have a question for you.
I'm afraid of everybody. Sorry.
I'm trying to think of like the perfect way to ask this. What would make you? Which one would make you feel like better or worse? I don't know if I'm wording this correctly, but a Kaapo Kakko overtime goal, like how good that would make you feel, or how bad would a Patrick
Like you're
Kane?
12 years
Or
old.
how bad would a Patrick Kane overtime goal in the playoffs make you feel? Like which one is a higher feeling? Like are you happier with Kakko or like more
it's
pissed? With Kane?
Kakko. It's Kakko, obviously.
Not more pissed if Kane scores?
Are you saying like scores against us?
Yes, I'm saying like, are you more pissed or happy? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the level of happiness versus the level of
happy.
anger.
Johnny phrased that like an 11-year-old.
I know. I tried to figure that one out. It was tough.
I know what
but
you're
you
saying.
what I'm
I know what you're saying,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Just say which one gives you all the feels.
But it's a different feel.
I would
It's still
say
a field.
losses wear off faster now that I'm a little bit older versus like the high of like a Rangers win, like the Stadium Series
Let's say
win.
it's like a pivotal game 5, 2-2 series. Kaapo scores the winning goal versus Kane scores the winning goal.
Oh, I'm more confident that the Rangers can come back in the next game, so I'd be much happier if the Rangers went up and like Kakko. Oh my god, yeah.
Mhm.
Don't get me going.
That would
I'm
fucking-
wearing
dude,
nice
that would
clothes
kill.
because I'm going out to dinner. I don't want to have to change my pants, brother.
That would kill this fan base if Patrick Kane scored an overtime playoff goal like at MSG. Like
Yeah,
that'd
you
be-
probably wouldn't hear from me again, but yeah.
Yeah, that'd be tough. That'd be tough.
Mhm.
Well, there is
Um,
a good chance we play Detroit, so we'll see.
I know. That's why
Right,
I'm asking.
as
Like,
of-
we got
as
a
of right
glaring,
now-
we got a
As of
glaring
right now,
hole
it's
in the
Rangers
right wing.
Detroit in round 1.
We got a glaring hole in the one right wing position. I wonder who could have been there.
Tarasenko? I agree.
No, come on, man. 88.
I feel like we basically hit on everything, but here's the last thing I guess we can do here.
Yeah, your boy gotta
Um,
go.
Thoughts on the Quickie signing? Happy
Great.
for him, well deserved.
Fantastic.
Would love to see him win a cup
Why
here.
would we be mad about that signing?
Yeah.
It was funny
here's-
when the Henrique stuff came up. I was like, man, if they get Henrique too, like it feels like destiny that we got these two guys just to bring it. Like I actually think Quick being in New York could be our destiny. Like it's just the full circle of him being one of the greatest American goaltenders ever, and then beating the Rangers in the Stanley Cup, beating his favorite team growing up in the Stanley Cup, and then coming back at the end of his career, retiring, just holding the Stanley Cup in his hands.
All right, and one last one to end the episode because I don't think we're going to talk about anything after.
I have one too for you guys.
All right, let me just do this one from Rami Lavi. Can you each give a prediction of the 12 forwards line by line for Game 1 of the playoffs?
It's going to take too long.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I got to go in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It's fine. So all right, we'll save that one. Let me ask my question.
All right, we'll save it for post deadline, I guess.
We'll save that for post deadline.
Sorry, Rami.
Sorry, Rami.
All right.
Love you.
One name that is a New York Ranger on Friday that we have not talked about before.
I mean, Cody, you talked
like
about
in recency or like total, like everywhere, like the whole, like the last year.
We could have talked about.
Cody's
I would
about
say like
every single
a dark
free agent.
horse could be like Duclair, and like we haven't really talked about him recently.
Okay.
No, we haven't. That's a good question. I feel like we talked about most people. Who's even like still out there?
Literally
not gonna be, like-
everybody except three.
Not going to be
guys.
like maybe. I mean, we haven't talked about him, I guess, today, but like maybe Lawton. But
Do you think
it
Philly
sounds-
would move
Dude,
him to
Tuck,
us?
I'll tell you what, Tuck was
I
out
don't
of the
know.
woodwork. That
Yeah.
I don't know if that's fake, but if that's
Dude,
not
that
fake,
is
I think it was
I
shot
wa- I
down already,
want-
though. Yeah.
I want that boy Alex Tuck, brother.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. I think it was shot down already, though.
Damn.
Was it?
Yeah.
Huh.
I'm gonna say, who did I say before just now? I said Lawton.
Yep.
Yeah. Dude,
Okay,
Drury
here's
should
one.
just
Here's
fucking-
one. Here's one out of the blue. I'll say Brandon Duhaime.
I
On
don't
mini?
even know who that is.
He's
Yeah,
on
younger-
the wild.
Younger player, cheap cap hit. You know, kind of like that third line grind style. Penalty killer. Good for the bottom six.
Mhm.
I think that's a guy maybe I'll just throw out there that could be a random player. He's got that tough mentality and in your face style, which I think the Rangers could always use more of. And I'll say Brandon Duhaime.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, I think we'll see, man. It's gonna be. We're not gonna record until the fact that the Rangers aren't playing until
Is absurd. This
I kinda
whoever
like it,
made these
though. I
schedules
kind of
suck.
like it.
I do like it. There's so much
hate it.
anticipation.
Devils allowed the first goal again.
Dude, they're
45th
down
time.
2-0.
2-0 already.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Oh boy,
It's fun to
They're
watch.
probably cheering. Are they cheering higher, Lindy? Oh, it's
I don't
2-1.
know.
Jack Hughes just scored.
So I want it
alright.
on record right now because I know Avery has to leave. Would you be upset if this team has Adam Henrique as their 3C?
No.
I don't think the hype is warranted though. Like, I don't think Adam Henrique's just like playoff killer. He's played 28 playoff games. 24 of them came in that 2012 run. He didn't have any points the next time he was in the playoffs in 2017-18. And he's a good depth guy, but he's not like some crazy. I'd rather have Vetrano over Henrique, obviously.
We
for
know,
many-
Johnny. We fucking know, bro.
Yeah.
Friend of the show. Friend of the show, dude. Friend of the show.
Dude,
I
what
love
are
Frank
you drinking
Vetrano.
in that
Let
solo
me
cup,
say
bro?
that
Water?
before I go. I love Frank Vetrano. I'd want him back, but
Water.
not for Kaapo Kakko. Okay. Bye,
Okay.
guys.
All right. Everyone have a great night. Thank you all for listening. We love you guys. We'll talk to you. We'll probably record what, Sunday?
Yep.
Yeah.
LFGR, baby.
Yeah.
Well, the
I'm
Rangers play
going to be in
Saturday. at
Tampa.
St.
I'm
Louis.
going to be in Tampa, but I'll bring my stuff. I'm actually going to the Lightning game on Saturday.
Oh, sick. All right, yeah. Or we can record after the Devils game Monday if you want.
Okay.
Why after the Devils game, bro? No, I'm kidding. I know we play them. Relax. Johnny was about
You
to.
didn't know that. You didn't know that. You liar,
Pants.
liar.
Say it
Bye,
again,
guys.
Cody, so we can end it.
All right, LFGR, baby.